Hello, hi, namaste, assalamu alaikum. Welcome to Unabridged. In today's episode of Unabridged, we will be discussing on the regulated markets by the government, the APMC mandis. The birth of agriculture produce market regulation dates back to British Raj. As raw cotton was the first farm produce to attract the attention of the government, the British rulers had to make available the supply of pure cotton at reasonable prices to the textile mills of Manchester. As a result, first regulated market under Hyderabad Residency Order was established. The first legislation was the Bearer Cotton and Grain Market Act, which empowered the British Raj to declare any place in the district a market for sale and purchase of agriculture produce and constitute a committee to supervise the markets. This act became the model for Royal Commission on Agriculture for establishment of regulated markets. The Government of India prepared a model bill in 1938 and circulated to all the states. Before independence, the major concern of the government was to help the industries. However, after independence, the need to protect the farmers and to provide them good prices to augment the production of agriculture commodities was also felt. Later, problems of local moneylenders, exploitation of farmers, buying at unreasonable prices were common throughout the country. Recognizing the defects like losses to farmers in terms of low prices, higher cost of marketing, and considerable physical losses of the produce which the farmer had to face, the government decided to establish a mechanism to monitor the market. Regulation and development of primary agriculture produce markets was taken up as an institutional innovation, and construct of well laid out market yards was considered as an essential requirement for regulating the practices in wholesale markets. Later, most of the states enacted Agriculture Produce Market Regulation Act during 60s and 70s. All primary wholesale assembling markets were brought under these acts. An Agriculture Produce Marketing Committee was constituted and framed the regulations and enforced them. Thus, the organized agriculture marketing came into existence, which regulated the markets. Markets or mandis are established at different places within the state. Farmers are required to sell their produce via auction at the mandi in their region. Traders require a license to operate within a mandi. Wholesale and retail traders and food processing companies cannot buy produce directly from a farmer. There are two principles on which APMCs operate. First, ensure that farmers are not exploited by the intermediaries or middlemen. Second, all food produce should be brought to mandi and then sold through auction. Until now, you might feel APMCs are guardians of farmers. But is it so? The answer is a big no. The APMC Act failed to benefit either farmers or consumers. As the Act limits the number of licenses issued to the traders for a market and take away the freedom of farmers to sell their produce anywhere, it led to a conflict among the traders. The Act established to empower farmers ended up making them dependent on trading cartels or mafias which controlled prices and charged large commission fees for the transactions. The price of perishable goods that were not covered under the minimum support price were determined by the trader themselves. As these markets lacked adequate infrastructure like cold storage, the farmers usually ended up selling their produce at throwaway prices. This created a license raj in the agriculture market, facilitated hoardings by traders, and ultimately high food inflation. The Act also curtailed the freedom of farmers to sell their produce through any means apart from the commission agents and other functionaries licensed by the APMCs. This created a fragmented market for agriculture commodities. To tackle this, Government of India, infamously known as Modi government, brought Enam Portal, a digitalized platform for farmers to auction via online basis. But again, Enam scheme had no promising results so far. Phase 1 involved grading the agriculture produce and taking an online auction of it. This resulted in the same middlemen, also known as commission agents, who have been controlling the market all along. The only difference is that this takes place online. This is no way elevating the position of farmers and only strengthening the position of middlemen who are already plaguing the system. The ENAM scheme has also failed to take off due to the absence of superior technical equipment, deficiency of fully functional online mandis, lack of technical expertise, and the reluctance of the stakeholders. This has led to creation of an isolated and fragmented online markets, something very far from the envisioned one nation, one market dream. Digitalization in agriculture already suffers from problems like low awareness among the farmers, minimal broadband penetration into rural areas, and rampant internet illiteracy. These problems must be tackled before forcing online trading on the enrolled farmers. The scheme seeks to protect bargaining power and increase the income of farmers. However, by prohibiting physical trading, it seems to be going against these goals. This episode is dedicated to all my fellow Indian youth. It's time for us to learn and transfer the knowledge to farmers, innovate in agriculture, to safeguard backbone of our economy, the farmers. This will be wrap up for this episode. Next, we will discuss on what are the Farm Ordinances 2020, their goals, loopholes, and why are farmers so feared. Is it just political illusion or in reality a threat to farmers? Thank you. Stay tuned to Unabridged.